In this video, we're going over 3 different ways you can use option sets to improve your Bubble app's performance. If you're not taking advantage of option sets, you're really missing out on a high impact opportunity to optimize. Follow these tips and see how you can apply them to your own app's structure and logic. All right, I've got 3 different option sets that I'm going to take you through so you can see how we can really take advantage of this capability. You know, one of the biggest reasons we want to use an option set whenever we can is that it's much more lightweight compared to searching your database. Your option sets are not actually a part of your database, so if you can take advantage of it, you have a bigger opportunity for workload savings. It's much leaner than having to query, potentially through hundreds of thousands of records. Now, option sets can't be managed by your users. They can't be dynamically created. So there's a time and a place, right, for option sets. There might be some cases where you need to manage choices in your database because your users may need to be in control of those choices. So, go with that route if that's what you need to do. But if you can take advantage of an option set to manage a predetermined list of choices, and generally one that's a contained list, generally one that doesn't change very often, you have so much opportunity here to make your logic and your structure much more efficient. So I'm going to go through 3 that I like to use in applications with a few different ways of leveraging them in our design. So I have one here for the days of the week, right? So each of my choices every single day of the week. I also have a custom attribute for a number representation of that day of week. So Sunday is 0, Monday is 1, Tuesday is 2. You can see here if I open up the window, I can see that numerical value there. That's great because I can, extract numbers from an actual date and see which day of week they fall on. I can do some fancy things with calendar math and comparing dates with one another. So that extra detail gives me a little bit more flexibility for working with this list of choices, and that way it's not just a list of texts here. My next option set is one that I've called branding. Now, this is going to be focused specifically on images that I may want to store for my application here in the option set area rather than in a database. So my branding set is made up of 3 choices: icon, logo, and cover. And I've also got an attribute here, an image attribute, so that each of these choices has an appropriate image. So for example, my icon is the icon representation of my brand without any lettering, anything like that. My logo is a more formal logo with maybe words, the name of the company. And then my cover image is my wider photo that may be kind of as a hero image on a website or, on a profile page of some sort. All of this to say is that I'm using this option set to organize my branding assets. And I have 3 different choices, each tied to an attribute where my values can be different. And this is me uploading the images to those attributes. So whenever I do want to update, all I need to do is modify the attribute's value, and anywhere I'm referencing these option set choices in my design, it will automatically reflect. The third option set that I have here is user role. Now this one is a very popular type of option set, is listing out the types of roles or user types or user permissions, it depends on what you're doing in your application, and relating your user records to one of these roles. This is how you can, identify whether a user is, for example, an admin, a manager, an employee, a guest. Now, what I've done here is with my 4 different levels of user roles, I have 2 attributes. And this is to help me determine what might be visible or what kind of workflows may be available for the user. So the higher in the hierarchy, the more access they may have to certain areas of the application. So in my example, I have a yes or no attribute to determine whether they should have dashboard access, right? So for example, the admin does have dashboard access where the guest, open this up here, doesn't. Okay, so I can use these to determine whether something is visible or not. Now, you may notice that a lot of the structure that I put together here, it's very similar to data types and fields. And that's precisely what we're trying to do here. We're trying to create a set of information where each of those properties or those attributes have certain formats. And I can use these option sets very, very similarly to data types and fields. Let's take a look at how I'm actually using these option sets in my design. So here I'm in the preview page where I've got a little bit of everything on this screen. At the top, I have a repeating group to show me my days of the week. I have a conditional expression here to highlight, change the color of the day of week that I'm currently in. And I have another text here to just further confirm that, what day of week we are currently in. Down below, I have my 3 different image assets coming from those branding option set choices. And over here, I have a drop down to display my different user roles. And I have some conditional functionality here that depending on the role that I select, it's going to reveal, buttons to kind of represent what this person can do. So an admin can do everything. They can access the dashboard, they can view another record, they can edit a record, they can delete, whereas a manager can't delete anything. An employee can only view, they can still access a dashboard, and a guest has the most limited access, they can only view resources. Now, this entire page with all of this going on here, it's all powered by option sets. There is not one single expression that is pulling anything from the database. Now, this isn't to say that that should be your goal or anything, but I want to demonstrate how much you can do through an option set, how much information you can design onto your page just from an option set. This is an incredibly lightweight page because I haven't asked Bubble to pull anything from my database. So let's take a look at the editor real quick so you can see how this was put together. So first of all, up at the top of the page, I did want to show what today's day of week is. So I'm just doing a formatting of the current date and time to format it to the full wording of the day of week. And down below, I have my repeating group. And you can see that the configuration of the repeating group is pulling from my option set. The type of content is day of week. My data source is not a search. It's just all options from that day of week set, right? So when you define that type of content, you're going to have that available to you, okay? Inside of the cell, I can display the cell's day of week display attribute. That's the built-in attribute, which is the name of the day of week. And then down below, I have the number for the day of week. That's my custom number attribute. Now, in the conditions of these texts, I'm leveraging that number, comparing it to the current date and time to determine whether I want to change the color and bold it so that I can see what today's day of week is. So I'm taking the current date and time, I'm extracting the day component from my date and time, right? I can extract different components. The day is the numerical representation of the date. That's something that's built into Bubble capabilities here. And if that day, that extracted day, is the current cell's day of week's number, right? If they match, then I know this cell is today's day of week, right? That's how we accomplish that. Now down below, I've got my my images. So these are 3 separate image elements, and I'm just pulling from that option set. From the branding option set here, and I specifically went to the icon option for this image. Over here on the right, I specifically went to, it's the same option set, of course, but to the logo choice, and then I went to the image property, the image custom attribute. But this is just a way to show you that you can pull individual options to insert those properties into a specific element. Now for the user role, so we've got our drop down here. This is coming from my user role option set. Very similar configuration to the repeating group. Notice that the caption is coming from the built-in display. Again, no searches. And the thing here is really the conditions and how I'm leveraging those custom attributes to determine which of these buttons should be visible. So by default, I have all of the buttons turned off in their visibility properties. So you see here, when the page is loaded, they're not visible. They're going to collapse when they're hidden. And in the condition, so for the dashboard button, I'm going to that dashboard access attribute, that yes or no. So as long as the drop-down's value, right, the user role, as long as that user role's dashboard access is yes, then it's visible. So it doesn't matter whether they are higher in the hierarchy or lower in the hierarchy. As long as that attribute is yes, then it's visible. Right? That way you can customize, and it doesn't really matter where they are in that chain of command, so to speak. So the view button, this is going to go off of the value of the dropdown in 2 different ways. First is the level. Okay, so that was a numerical representation, a numerical attribute that I put on the option set as well. Admin is 1, the manager is 2, the employee is 3, and the guest is 4. This way I can do things like anybody less than a certain number or anyone greater than a certain number can gain certain access or maybe needs to be restricted, right? It can just kind of work up or down the chain there. So for the view button, this is something that everybody can do. So if their level is less than or equal to 4, right? 4 being the most limited person, and we have selected something in the dropdown, then it's visible. For the edit, it jumps down to 2. You have to be 2 or lower, that's my admin and my manager, in order to be able to edit. And for the delete, only the admin can do that. I said less than or equal to 1 if I ever decide I want to have numbers lower than 1, or I could have said the level is 1 to specifically call out the admin. Another way I could have done this here is reference the role itself rather than the attributes. So I could have gone to the drop-down user role value is, okay, is, and then you see my choices are going to automatically inject themselves in my dynamic, drop-down list here, my list of options. This is one of the greatest things I love about option sets is that your choices are populated in here. Like Bubble will actually insert the choices you created in this drop-down list. You can't do that with your database records. So drop-down user roles value is admin, right? Doesn't matter anything else. If the value is admin, then we show the button. All right, I hope this was helpful. And if it was, definitely check out the content you see on the screen right now. These videos will help you better build and launch your app and a lot more quickly too.